Talia and Tex laid outs today. Does that make life a bit easier for you Sunday?
Oh, they're good players, so won't change our preparation though. So obviously they're carrying a few injuries, and but that won't change how we approach the game.
Does that make it a chance for McGovern to not maybe have to play back? Could he be more flexible if there's no Walker?
I haven't thought too deeply about that, but Jeremy's his best spot's probably down back. So whilst we had JK out of the side for that period, and we tried a couple of things, we'll see. We'll have to look at it.
How do you handle it, Simo, with your team in terms of the lead up to the match? Do you all watch the other games together, or do you tell them what needs to be done, or you instruct them on how to conduct themselves on Sunday?
It's a unique situation. We had a little bit of this in 2014. I think we needed Sydney to beat Richmond at home, and they didn't. And so we played the next day in a bit of a dead rubber. I think you just got to be pretty honest about it. So it's not like don't watch it and don't think about it. We've got a process in place for the preparation. We're separating the emotion of everything about the week, because it's going to be an emotional week for players and our fans and members, just in regards to the game. Our last game at Subi, and potentially the last game for Pritis. Obviously Sam Mitchell's at the end as well. So there's a lot of reasons to draw on emotion, but we're really concentrating on, and of course the finals machinations that we don't know until probably an hour before we run out. So we're really concentrating on the process, and don't worry about the emotion or the outcome.
What do you do on the day when you know a certain amount of points that you need to win by? How do you handle that?
Yeah, I will worry about that when we get to it, and I've got some things in place. But yeah, it's I'm not thinking too hard about it. Our play, we just need to win no matter what. So that's the process we're going, and the track we're going down. By how much or all those things, it's really difficult to say, guys, let's win by 5 goals this week. Or we might need to win by 90 points, so who knows? So all I know is we have to win. So we get that right, and that's our plan against the best team of the competition. It's a pretty big task in itself.
If it does happen to be a crazy big margin that you need to win by, you just go, yeah, let's throw forward to the win and just...
Play 8 forwards. Yeah, I won't worry about that. Like I said, I'm not overthinking it, because if I do that, it'll just take up too much time. And like I said, like our players, I'm sticking to our process of what we need to do.
Do you think it will help the group having at least had a very similar experience in 2014? You said it ended up being a dead rubber, but does it help across the course of the week?
I suppose we've drawn that a little bit. That was our first year together, and it was interstate, so we were in the hotel at the time, so I got a chance to talk to players. So I'm not even sure. I think one of the games is on our day, the Essendon game. So yeah, what will be with all that. It's on reflection, obviously it's more disappointing that we've got to rely on these other games for us to, get our destiny right, which is disappointing. And unfortunately, there's been too many games where we've lost winnable games and been in winnable positions. So that's the disappointing part. But the fact we're still alive, and boys trained really well yesterday, and it's a lot of energy in the group. So we're looking forward to this week.
Do you think the intent going into the game can be the same, no matter whether you're still in a finals hunt, and also you're saying goodbye to, if it is you're not in the finals hunt, you're saying goodbye to one of your club legends? Can the intent, do you expect the intent to be the same?
It's interesting, the milestone games and retirement games and all those things, it's always a challenge to how you build that up, because if you just draw on emotion, it's hard to stay on that high for the whole game. So, and that's teammates, let alone the player going through it. So, yeah, it's something we've got to manage, but to try and say that we're going to play an emotion the whole day is difficult. I think we've got to get our process right.
Is it fair to say, Simo, then, that you'll be cheering on Fremantle on Sunday?
We'll just worry about ourselves, and Freo having to get over the line, we'll take it.
And Collingwood as well, though. I mean, both of them can do you a huge favour, can't they?
Oh, this is the issue we're in. Unfortunately, we've got to rely on other teams. So we've put ourselves in that position, and we've got to live with that. But, yeah, we can't control it.
Must be so frustrating as a coach, isn't it? Because you don't really control what happens at the end of the match, and if they'd only just snuck over one game.
Well, we can control that. Yeah, I mean, us as a football club can control our own destiny. It's, you know, we're a product of what's happened before us this year, so that's our responsibility.
Have you reflected on which, it's probably too early, on which games cost you, but obviously there's some obvious ones.
Oh, I won't go into the detail of the season just yet, but there's, I mean, you guys know there's been lots of games where we've been well and truly in it and we haven't been able to get it done. So there's been some really good games as well, but unfortunately there's probably been too many that we've let slip.
Would you think that West Coast fans could possibly sit and watch and cheer for Fremantle?
Oh, if it means it's going to be good for us, then of course.
Waterman, is he a chance to play depending on results, or is he close because of form?
He's close because of form. He's come from the clouds a little bit. You know, we've been really looking for an extra forward for a while now. We've had lots of injuries up front, and yeah, look, he's had pretty good form at East Perth. He's still a young kid, but it's exciting to see what he can do in the future. He's got natural forward tendencies, so yeah, he's definitely in the mix. It won't determine whether where we're at on Sunday in terms of what we need to do, but he's been spoken about long and hard at match committee. And Willie Rioli's another one that we've been really looking at, but unfortunately he's just not ready, and we don't want to set him up to fail. He's on managed minutes at East Perth, and he just the advice I got is he just won't get through a game. So he's got a big pre-season in front of him.
No problem with Lecrae's
He's good to go.
good to go.
Yep.
What does the future hold for him? Simone? You've had discussions with him. I think he said he wants to play on next year. No chances for his farewell game this weekend?
Look, I'm not going to talk about that here, but we're really happy with what he's produced for the most part of the year. He's had some injuries throughout the season, but you know, there's going to be significant changes, I would have thought, going forward with our list. We'll worry about that in the year, though.
Is Cripsy under the pump for it to keep his spot?
No.
And it was related to not related to that turning the ball over at the end there of the game last week.
We're going to drop him for missing a ground ball.
Yeah. I heard you mention on the radio. That was all I thought.
Did I? No. He's a very important player for us. We're talking about our forward line and what we need to get. He actually plays a very important role. He needs support.
Yeah. Just on the Crows, how formidable are they to take on?
Well, they're just been so consistent this year, obviously. Their ability to win the contest and win their one-on-ones. And a lot of good numbers when you look at their data, and yeah, they're pretty impressive. So they're top of the ladder. They're in a good space. They played really well last week and didn't get the chocolates, but yeah, we're fully aware of what they're capable of.
And one of those numbers was Mark's inside 50. I think their first walker out probably helps that a bit. But with the job that Elliott did on Toby Green last week, do you want to keep Elliott down back again for this type of game?
Well, he's a good one-on-one player, Yo, and we think there's a bright future for him. He's 22, and he's played some significant roles this year. He'll have another one this weekend. Who that is or where that will be, we'll find out soon enough. But he's been a bit of a go-to for us for the one-on-one battles, so we'll have to look at that.
He's done the roles down back and in the midfield. You talk about settling him as a midfielder. Is his best position week to week, or?
At the moment, yeah, what's best for the team, but we see him, possibly playing in the midfield going forward, but we probably need two of him at the moment.
Eddie Betts, how do you go about curbing his influence?
We could sit here and go through every player in their team if you want. I'm happy to do that, but we recognise they're all pretty dangerous. Yeah, and that's what's probably the most dangerous part about them is their collective.
You touched on Joe on Green last week. Is he a big chance to go on back?
Yo? Yeah, I'm not going to go through every one of the. You'll find out on the weekend. Yeah, I mean, what day is it today? Friday? Yeah, no, we'll find out on the weekend.
Adam, despite a couple of outs for Adelaide, the fact they're coming off a loss, they probably don't want to enter the finals off 2 losses. Do you expect their motivation to be high despite the game meaning less than?
Yeah, I can't control that, and we can only plan for them at their best. I don't think they'll be trying any less. We've both got a lot to play for. Obviously, our situation's a little bit unique, so that's all we're looking at the moment. So we need to play at our best for 4 quarters, and that's been our focus.
Subi Oval, are there any memories that stick out as a player coming out?
As a player, my biggest memory is Nick's mark, I suppose, a couple of years ago with the Indigenous jumper on. So, yeah, that's probably the biggest memory I have when I just think about it straight away.
We're repeating just the first one, the last one on that. Do you assign a coach to the scenario on Sunday as to you might have to win? Like, is there someone?
You can tell me, so I'll just rely on you guys. I'm pretty sure we'll know exactly what we need to do. So it won't take much to work out, but nothing will happen if we don't win. So that's, like I said, that's our plan.